guys just balancing the pressure of what's at stake for you guys postseason-wise, while also not getting caught up in that and just focusing on the next game at hand?
Yeah, I think a long time ago at the beginning of the season, or kind of halfway through when we had the losing streak, we kind of made sure as a team we just locked in on next game at a time and flush in the last one, whether it was a win or a loss. Obviously learning from those games, but just handling every game when the time comes and just treating it like every other game that we normally play.
That's something you've learned, this being late in your college career, of how to kind of compartmentalize like that and not let the emotions and the pressure be too much of a factor?
Yeah, I think I know how to handle it pretty well. I think obviously we're a pretty old team, so I think we, can do just fine with that. And we've dealt with it this year already, so it's just making sure we lock in every day and keep getting in the gym and learning from games and moving forward.
How much does that help, having dealt with adversity this year going into these last 3 crucial games?
Yeah, I think it can help a lot. Obviously, it's kind of how we use it and how we look at it. And I know the coaches are emphasizing that and how we go forward. But I think it does help to have gone through some adversity and flip things around and seen what we can be and where we want to be, and then obviously have to go do it.
Coach said you had a long offensive film session after that Michigan game. I guess what were some of your biggest takeaways of how to get things going on that end of the floor?
Yeah, I think for us, a lot of it was our pace, just getting into stuff. We weren't getting on the floor like normal. And then, some people miss some good looks too, but I think we just saw like our normal pace and how we move needs to be better in getting us into stuff. And I just think as a team, we watched some old clips and some clips from that game where maybe you do it right and you look good and you see the difference. And I think that's the big thing for us, is just seeing the difference between plays where or games where we look great offensively, everything's flowing well, and then games where it's not as much, and kind of comparing the two and seeing the differences there.
As a player, is it easier to flush away a bad defensive game like you guys had at Penn State, or a game like you guys had against Michigan where just shots aren't falling?
I think for me, a loss is a loss, but I think, between the two games, when you look at it, where we played really hard versus Michigan. We did a lot of great things, and part of it's shots don't fall, and then part of it's just we didn't execute. But I think when you go out and you play like that and you give yourself a chance, it's always a little bit easier than losing by 20 or whatever. But a loss is a loss, no matter how close. So it's kind of the same, to be honest. But I think, again, when you go out and you give yourself a chance every game, that's really all you can ask for. Looking back on it.
Describe this league top to bottom? It feels like anybody can beat anybody on a given night.
Yeah, I'd say there's no sleepers at all. It's kind of, like you said, anyone can beat anyone. Every team's really talented, and especially late in the year, I think you've seen some teams that maybe didn't start great start to figure it out a little bit, and that happens all over the country late in the season. I think especially with the transfer portal, a lot of teams have a lot of new guys, and so they start to figure out their identity and where they stand, and it's going out there and respecting everyone you play and just preparing like we should.
In your experience, how dangerous is a team like Minnesota that's close to the bottom of the standings but still has something to play for?
Yeah, I think they're really dangerous, especially when you're in a position where you're fighting for your season. I think people just, you leave it all out there, especially seniors and kind of vets in college. You could say that it's your last ride, including myself, where you don't want to end it bad or not give yourself a chance. So I think, all teams are dangerous at this time of the year.
Anything else for Rollie? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.